Fitness and Wellness Programmer at Service Place, and today I'd love for you to join me in a nice fascial release stretch class that will take about 30 minutes. And all you'll need to do for this class is if you have a tennis ball at home or a lacrosse ball, even if you don't have one of these, you can still participate, so don't go anywhere. And a foam roller, or if you don't have a foam roller, just get a nice big beach towel and roll it up. Okay, so a beach towel will do just fine. Tennis ball, lacrosse ball, again, maybe a water bottle, and a mat if you have one, but not essential. So when you're ready, find your space, gather your tools, and let's get started. We'll start just by kind of checking in with the body, just seeing how the body is feeling today. So I want you just to start just by lifting up your legs and just thinking, wow, how do they feel? Maybe even doing a lot of workouts, high intense workouts, and they might be feeling a little heavy. So just take note of maybe how your body is responding with you just wanting to lift a leg. How does it feel when you just want to lift your arms? Keep your feet planted. Just reach up and let the arms come down. Do you feel any tension? Do you feel any restrictions? What is the body telling you? Good. So from here, we're just going to try to check in one more with another one. We're just kind of doing a self-assessment that we'll recheck at the end. So coming in, take a nice deep breath in here, and I want you just to try to reach your toes. So coming down, keeping the legs straight if you can. Have a slight bend to the knee, obviously, if you need to protect your back. But just see how that feels. Do you feel any tightness in the low back? Do you feel any restrictions to the glutes and hamstrings? Does there feel any restriction, any pain? So from here, I want you to bend your knees. Just use your hands, bring it on top of the knees, and just press yourself up. Good. So I'd love for you just to kind of keep track of those mental notes that you've taken on how the body feels now, and then when we recheck at the end of the class. So grab that tennis ball or lacrosse ball. It's going to be up to you depending upon how much pressure you want to apply. And we're just going to start at the feet, because really everything starts from the ground up. So taking that lacrosse ball and placing it underneath your right foot, you're going to just start to gently roll like an inch or so up into the little spaces in between the toes, just the top of your foot. Now, like I said, if you don't have a lacrosse ball, no worries. You're gonna give yourself a nice little foot massage. So you'll take the foot, you'll use the thumb and in your hand, and you'll start to massage the foot, kind of getting into all those same places, going up and out and around, and getting into all of those spaces. So the fascia is what we're kind of awakening here, awakening up the fascial line. So it starts in the feet, and the fascia is like a really big, thick spider web that encases everything in your body. Just move the ball down now to the middle of the foot. And I want you to really focus just in on that instep, in that inner arch, okay? So you're applying as much pressure as feels good for you. So that fascia encloses your nerves, your muscles, your organs. Everything is encased in the fascia. And it's made up 70% of water, and so it loves to be hydrated. So really encouraging you to grab water, come into the middle of your foot after. It's so important to stay hydrated. So by allowing us to start at the feet, this is going to awaken up all of that posterior chain. So everything on the back side is going to start to get awakened through this fascial line. So come to the outside of that foot and just start to either giving yourself that foot massage with your hands or the lacrosse ball. Good. Coming now to the back. So just above the heel, you don't want to be rolling onto that heel bone. Good. So coming into just the back of the heel, into the more forward to the center of your heel. I want you just to stop there, and I want you just to kind of press into it and then release. So you're not on the bone, you're not on that heel. Good. And release. Beautiful. And then we'll switch sides. But before we switch sides, I want you just to kind of take note again. How does that right foot feel as compared to the left? Does it feel a little bit more energized? Feel a little more activated, like a little bit more blood flow? Things like that. It should just feel more alive. Let's try it on the left foot. So again, feel free to do this with your hand, giving yourself a nice little hand-foot massage there, coming into all of the spaces in between the toe, working in through that upper part of the foot. Again, you're applying as much pressure as feels good for you. Pressure, you should be able to breathe through, okay? You never want to go higher than an 8 out of 10. It kind of has the opposite effect then. It restricts your body from releasing because now you've kind of stimulated that fight or flight system, right? So you don't want to be getting into that middle, come to the middle of the foot. You don't want to be activating that. You want to be able to breathe through it. The intensity should be around that 7 out of 10. Coming into that inner arch, just rolling into it, feeling it, release. Moving those hands into that inner arch again, using your thumbs, kneading up and down, get the cross friction, so you want to go side to side. And if there's an area that just kind of feels like it leads a little bit more, feel free to hang out there. Now come into the center of the foot. And then to the outside of that left foot. Good. Nice deep breath in and out. You're still breathing. And then to the back of the foot. So coming in towards the heel, but not directly on that heel bone. Again, don't forget to go side to side. Coming into the meaty part of the heel, not on the bone. Press into it. And then release. Press into it. And then release. Just one more time. Nice. And release. So again, hopefully you've evened out. Feels about the same now on both feet potentially. Good. So we're going to make our way down to the mat. And we're going to start to activate and get into the soleus part of the leg. So just on the outside of the leg. Again, you can feel free to use your fingertips and hands to kind of run up and down, or you're going to use the tennis ball or the lacrosse ball. Start down by the ankle, your foot's going to be flexed, and you're just going to kind of divide your shin into 3 areas. Starting off in just that first little area, and then going just little zigzags up and down, forward and back. Nice. Coming into that second part of the soleus, so you've found that first part, second part, again cross action. So you want to be able to go side to side, forward and back. And lastly, working your way up. So not going into that knee joint, just below. You're applying as much pressure into that ball as what feels good for you. And then we're going to switch legs. So again, you may find one side of the body a little tighter than the other. Totally normal. You may be focusing a little bit more on your breathing on one side than the other, but make sure you do breathe. And again, just lighten up on that tension if it's too much, or maybe switch out from the lacrosse ball to the tennis ball if you need something a little bit softer. Or feel free to go and use your hands, right? So this can all be done with the hands. You don't need a lacrosse ball. Coming into that second portion, if you're not already there, if you've divided your leg into those 3 equal parts, making sure you're hitting forward and back and side to side motions. And then finally that last little tidbit there of the leg, coming up into it. Nice. All right, so just putting those tools off to the side for a moment, coming up onto all fours. So I'm not too sure what we have for equipment at home. So I just wanted to show you how you can use your own knee. So we're gonna get into the meat of the calf here, the belly of the calf muscles. So feel free to have your hands stacked here, or you could come onto your forearms if you needed to. You're going to lift up the opposite knee and come right up into the top of the calf, okay? Then from here, you're just gonna slowly start to slide the leg down towards the ankle. Coming in, applying a little pressure. Maybe you wanna kind of rock side to side with the foot. Slowly making your way down that calf muscle. Good. And as you come down that calf muscle, you're slowly inching over to the other side. Again, feel free to hang out in the belly of that calf muscle. A little bit of cross friction, moving that knee around, giving you a little bit of a trigger point there. Nice, one more time. Especially if you've been doing a lot of jumping, running in those higher intensity workouts, you may be feeling it. Just gonna switch sides here for you. So again, you're just gonna shift yourself forward, bringing that leg into the top of that calf muscle, pressing down, maybe rocking side to side, getting a little bit more pressure in there. You're in full control of how much pressure you're applying. Slowly making your way down that calf muscle towards the ankle. Again, keeping that response about a 7 out of 10 here. You should be able to freely breathe. Good, we'll do one more. Very nice. And gently relax. Okay, so we're gonna come on down into seated position. Actually, sorry, no. We'll come into a kneeling position. Sorry. Feel free to take your mat and just give it an accordion fold so that your knees have a nice little cushion. You're gonna tuck your toes under on that right foot if it's available to you. If not, just have the top of your foot resting on the floor. Left foot's gonna come out to the side, pressing through the outside of your left foot. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale, reach to me, let your hands come down to the ground here. So just like you would in a 4-point stance, your hands will be stuck beneath the shoulders. Tailbone is reaching back here in that nice long spine. And just start to kind of windshield wiper your hips. So letting your hips just gently rock side to side. Start to feel a little bit of a stretch here through those inner thighs, the inner thigh on that left side. Our right hand is going to stay on the ground. Our left hand is going to reach up towards the ceiling. Now, if this is too much, feel free to take your hand onto your hip bone. Pull that left shoulder blade back. Open up the chest. Nice deep breath in and out. Coming back. Letting your hands come out a little bit further. Let the head and chest fall between the arms here. Hips are going to stay relatively high, but allow them to shift back slightly. Feel free to move in the pose. Shifting the weight slightly forward and back. See if that makes a difference. Good, coming towards that seam left foot. And then walking your hands over to the right corner, shifting back, straight back with those hips. Walking the hands back to the body, allowing yourself to come up. Take a nice deep breath in here. Let the left hand come to the outside of the foot, the leg, sorry, and just reach over with that right arm. Pulling back through the armpit, opening up the chest. Keep a nice open heart here. Watch that you don't put too much pressure in the hand on the leg. So it's just lightly reaching down the leg. Think of lifting it up and then over, opening up to the side body. Good. And we'll switch sides. So left foot comes to the floor. Again, curling your left toes underneath, if it's available. If not, the back of your foot pressing into the floor. The right leg is going to go out to the side, press to the outside of that foot, right from the small toe to the heel. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, reach to me, let those hands stack beneath the shoulders into that 3-point stance with that leg out to the side. And again, just kind of windshield wiper those hips side to side. Shifting the weight forward and back slightly, just kind of seeing how the body responds. Keeping that left hand stacked beneath the shoulder. You can pull the right hand to the hip bone, remember, focusing on pulling that shoulder blade back, or you can reach up to the sky. So getting a little bit of a hip opening here, but really focusing on maybe that hip and shoulder connection as we start to open up through the thoracic spine, through the mid-back, coming back down to center. Good. Let those hands walk out, head and chest gently fall. Hips stay really high here, but feel free to shift your weight back. Again, move your hips side to side. Locking those hands towards the corner of that right side. And then over to the left. Slowly coming back to center. Walking the body up. Taking a nice deep breath in here. Allow that right hand to come down to the leg, floating it lightly, lifting up and then over. Start to feel the side open up. Breathe and press that rib out into that left side as it opens. Feel the body give you a little bit more space as you exhale. Watching your right hand isn't pressing hard into that leg, too much pressure into that knee joint. Good, gently coming back to center. Unfolding the mat. This is where you'll need your little beach towel, okay? So when you lie down, you want that beach towel to be underneath that the rib cage. So it's going to come and sit just above that middle back, okay? So the towel or your foam roller will sit parallel with the mat. Maybe I'll just turn to the side so you can see the back placement. So you'll want your feet flat on the floor to give you the best back support, okay? Again, just above the bottom of the ribs, sitting just at the bottom of the towel. Hands behind your head for support. Feet grounding into the floor. Gaze is going to be up. You're going to allow yourself to fold over that towel. Now, if it's too intense and you are having a hard time breathing, unroll the towel a couple times, make it a little bit lower. So it's quite a chest and heart opener here. So if you find that you're holding a lot of stress there, feel free to make it half the size, okay? So think of really expanding into the ribs as you breathe. So allowing the belly to expand out nice and wide, so not just up, but push out to the sides, really getting that three-dimensional breathing here. And as you exhale, think of everything relaxing, getting deeper into the towel, feeling a little bit more release. So gravity will help us with that exhale. Good. So hands can still be behind your head here for support, especially if you find that you're not quite on the ground. You could slip a little bit of a folded up face cloth or towel too underneath the head if you didn't have like a thinner block. Good. So anytime you do a heart opener, it can be quite intense, so don't feel that you have to stay here. To come out of it, just roll to the side. Use a hand to press yourself up. We'll just stay here for a couple more breaths. Very nice. So again, like I said, we're just going to just gently roll to one side. Use one hand to press yourself up to come out of it. So if you are using a beach towel, let's fold it in half to create a little thicker bolster, if you will. Okay. So our head is going to go, the base of our head is going to go at the top of the mat, the top of the bolster, and the bottom again should fall about rib cage height. Okay. So from here, you'll want to set yourself up so that your head is supported on your bolster. Feet are flat on the floor, so you have maximal support for your spine. It should be sitting right in line with the spine, okay? From here, take the hands and reach up to the sky. Now, all I want you to do is think of your shoulder blades. As you draw your shoulders down, let your shoulder blades hug the bolster. So hug and squeeze the bolster, your beach towel with the shoulder blades, and then reach up and let your shoulder blades expand. Feel them pull apart, and then they're going to squeeze together as they squeeze onto the bolster. Good. And then press up. One more time, coming down, squeeze. Reach those fingertips up to the sky, and then let your arms reach out and come down to the ground. So what's nice about this stretch is that gravity really does its thing here. It's just a nice passive stretch. Feeling a nice little chest opener again. Arms are just relaxing into the floor. And as you exhale, think of your arms becoming heavier. Let them sink heavy into the ground, almost like they're being kind of pulled down into quicksand. Nice, easy breath here. Let your body relax deeper into that bolster as you exhale. Should feel nice. Again, at any time, if this doesn't feel good for your body, feel free just to come out of the pose, come out of the stretch. Just a couple more breaths here. Good. Maybe see what it feels like just to bring your arms up overhead. And then back out, kind of like a nice little snow angel, floating those arms up overhead. And then back down. Last time, make a nice little snow angel all the way up over the head. And and relax. Rolling over onto that right side, pressing yourself up. Good. Nice seated position. Soles of your feet can be together or cross-legged. You're just gonna bring your right ear to the shoulder, and then left. And then right. Hold it here. And then come back to center, left ear to shoulder. And back to center. Good. Tuck the chin into the chest. Feel that length through the back of the neck. Take a nice deep breath in, looking all the way up towards the ceiling. Only going as far as you feel comfortable. Start to feel a nice little stretch through the front of the neck here. Good, bringing your head back to center. Fantastic. Now let's make our way back up to that standing position. Recheck. Start to lift up the legs like you did in the beginning of the class. Hopefully they feel a little lighter. Plant the feet. Start to lift up through those arms. Maybe they feel a little bit easier to come up, less tension in and around the shoulders and back. Good. Roll those shoulders back and down. And one more time, let's reach for our feet. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale, reach for those toes. See if you're able to get a little further, potentially. Maybe you feel less restricted through the legs and low back. Take a mental note. Bend the knees. Let your hands come on top of those thighs and press yourself up. Roll those shoulders back and down. Good. We're just going to take a nice deep breath in, reach out to the side, let those hips sway. Good. Just let them open up. Beautiful. Letting them come back to center, roll those shoulders back and down, reaching for the floor. Tucking the head in towards the chest, just getting another deep stretch through the back of the neck here. Looking all the way up towards the sky. Bring your head back to center. Final deep breath in. Exhale, reach it all the way out. Thank you so much for spending the last half hour with me and enjoying a little bit of a release and stretch. So remember, you don't always need a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. You can use your hands, kind of giving yourself a nice little massage, especially through those feet. The feet is where it all starts. Awaken that fascia. Remember to hydrate throughout your day. Have some big movements. Push that water into the fascia after you hydrate. Thank you once again, and we hope to see you next time in one of our classes. Please comment, ask questions. We love to hear from you. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.